All right, what's up, boys?
How we doing? We already lost Dusty.
Dusty's already out.
Yep.
Happy clinchman. How do you think the boys are feeling today?
Probably a little rough.
I got to guess that there is a huge order of Fountain Diet Cut. Nice. I'm probably gonna go grab one too. Fountain Diet Cut from McDonald's and some Gatorades being delivered to us to a hotel in New York right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So today we got our resident guest Tim Mayza joining us. I don't know if anybody watched the game last night, but Tim got in there a little bit last night. But yeah, without further ado, I don't think we've had him on once since he's been on the Yankees now. He's you probably remember him with Toronto for a little bit, but let's bring Tim in. Let's bring this stud in.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you? How's your shin feeling?
Oh, yeah, shin's a little rough today, but we'll be all right.
You got a nice little welt on it, or what?
Yeah, I have like a bruise patch, I guess. Like it's supposed to help like limit the bruising, but I was joking. I was like last night. I was like, man, if I would have just been able to see the future, knew a homer was coming, I may have acted a little different.
Dude, they left you in. They had a long leash on you last night. I was surprised to see you in that come out for the next inning.
Yeah, I mean it's just like where they were in the lineup, and they had. Obviously, I think the goal was to get them to pinch hit for some of the lefties, and then they had guys at the bottom of the order that they're not going to pinch hit. Well, it's like the Mullins-Henderson turn is like neither one of them guys is coming out. But
I wonder if you thought that we were going to have somebody pinch hit for Kerstad or something.
Well, they did. Who did pinch hit for? They pinched it for
O'Hearn. Mountcastle hit for O'Hearn.
Yeah. So, yeah. Sometimes it's like playing that like early in the game. Sometimes it's like, hey, let's bring a lefty in to see if they'll switch to set up for some of the righties in the back end. But I mean, we have some guys with like really good changeups. We got music in the back here. we have like some guys in the back end who have like really good changeups. So sometimes those splits are a little reverse. More so talking about like Canely and Weaver and kind of those guys back there who have really good changeups and aren't as breaking ball reliant to where they can play evenly with righties and lefties.
And if you've watched any of the Orioles this year, I'd say our Achilles heel is definitely a changeup. So,
yeah, I mean, and it makes sense, right? Like a lineup stacked with that many lefties, maybe a little more susceptible to righties with good changeups.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was texting the group chat last night during the game, and I was like, all right, Tim needs to get 3 clean outs, get him out of the game. That way I can start rooting for the Orioles again.
Yeah, kind of got crushed with a homer last night. More so, just in general as a team. And then, obviously you felt like some momentum swing when Soto hit that ball and then Torres getting thrown out at the plate. You kind of felt like some momentum there, but just kind of the way the game went. I think anytime
Have the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, I mean, you look at and sometimes it's like at our ballpark, you get bit by a homer. You don't think about it, but I mean, right center to right field is rather short. But when you're out there, I don't tend to like try to pitch to the ballpark. I pitch more to the strengths. But even, you think about how the lineup's constructed, the Orioles, and it's like, I think it's hilarious. They push left field back what seems like, 100 feet, and then they just stack the lineup with lefties who just like crush right field. It's kind of like, oh, they saw all these lefties were going to come up. Let's push left field back and just get as many power hitting lefties as we can.
I mean, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
There maybe should be some rules against like gerrymandering your field, but
Yeah.
I'm all for it right now.
Oh, Judge and Vlad are in the division. Let's push left field back,
Yeah.
and then when we'll just stack it with our power lefties.
Yep.
Well, not only that, there was like 15 years there where I felt like we couldn't get any top end pitching because nobody wants to come to Baltimore knowing that that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And just historically, whenever we did sign somebody decent, they would put up some of the worst numbers of their career. So I get it. Something had to change a little bit there, but I mean that was a big change, which again, not mad about right now.
No.
Yeah. What's your experience been like pitching in New York so far? Have you has it been more stressful, less stressful, just a different type of environment? What's that been like?
Different environment. I'm definitely in a different role, just with kind of how the season has gone and the way their bullpen is. I think with the Blue Jays, especially early in the season, I was seeing a little bit more of a leverage role, and here it's been a lot more low leverage. Really up until probably last night. I think last night's probably the highest leverage, one of the highest leverage games that I've been in since being here, and so it's different. I wouldn't say stressful is a word. I mean, every outing, regardless of kind of the score, the goal is the same, and that's to get outs. But I think it's just a little different of a role that I'm in right now, as opposed to like years past, and so that's changed a little bit. And I think here, it's just a little different. The expectations are obviously set. Coming into a team that has World Series aspirations. So different environment, different role. The coaching's been great. I think last night the velo was up, and the velo continues to trend up. And there's just been times where there's certain areas where it's been a struggle from a pitching standpoint, just like sliders. And I think last night I got burned trying to go in on a couple righties where the ball leaks out middle. And I think almost every hit last night was supposed to be a sinker in that gets over the plate, especially the Urias home run. So we're trying to get in there and to righties, and it seems like the misses are just getting just kind of capitalized right now, especially out over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, every miss I saw was leaking arm side for sure. Your velo was up pretty good last night until I think the second inning it dropped a mile or two.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was surprised to see your slider, cutter, whatever you want to call it right now, up to anywhere from 89 to 91. And you dotted the first one. But yeah, every miss it seemed like was definitely arm side. If you were missing, you weren't pulling across.
Yeah, and the Henderson hit, it kind of is what it is. I felt like I beat him on that pitch, and he just kind of hits it down the line.
Yeah.
However, it was like every other hit that happened leading up to that was just a called glove side fastball that missed out over and missed arm side. So we're just not like, for me, a glove side fastball is a take pitch, especially to righties. It's front hit. I want them to bail and not be able to pull the trigger on it. And, last night just caught a lot more of the plate. And kind of when you do that, it's not so much ball to strike, which is what I'm kind of aiming for is like, I want ball to strike the left side. That way they take. I want strike to ball arm side and get them to swing. And that's kind of the game that I'd like to play. And so for righties, that's front hip, and obviously it's a risky pitch, but it's a pitch that I've been able to use in the past and done pretty well with it, especially to righties. I think that's part of why we're seeing the struggles this year at times. Or it's just like that location glove side is just missing by, I'd say, like a ball to two balls arm side, and it's it's in a damage area.
Yeah, and I'd say like that first batter, I mean, your control was really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really just kind of like after that, not even it kind of just slowly trickled. But I was listening to the Orioles announcers last night, and they were talking about the difference between from when you were in Toronto and when you went to the Yankees, and it's funny because we had the whole podcast with you talking about like the whole reason why you chose the Yankees is because they were going to invest into you and try to figure out what things were going wrong. So I thought it was kind of cool to see that they actually brought it up and have noticed it as well and noticed the difference. So, but Brian, you got anything over there since you've been quiet?
No. So I didn't even get a chance to watch the game last night because of some stuff. So I'm just kind of like listening and letting you guys go back and forth about the ins and outs of yesterday's pitching.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun game to watch for sure. Obviously, as an Oriole fan, I don't think Kowser's ball's landed yet. Luckily, he didn't get that one off of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a for what both teams have playing. I mean, I think if you're an Orioles fan, you probably foresaw this being for the division and not being I don't know what they're 4 or 5 games back now. But
Yep.
I mean, it definitely has a playoff vibe to it. I know it's not the postseason, but you definitely see 2 lineups that you can foresee a matchup in the postseason happening. And I think if things stay the same, there's a potential there. I think that would be the bracket is us getting that first round bye and hopefully the 1 seed and then being the 3 or the 4 playing the 5. So it'd be a fun little series, and obviously they have firepower in their lineup, and obviously we do as well.
Honestly, Tim, last night was the first night that I felt, and you bring up like the playoff atmosphere. Last night was the first night that I felt that we played a pretty complete game all the way around in a very long time. Like the defense looked good, made all the plays we were supposed to make. Obviously, we can say that it's a credit to we just got 3 guys back, 3 crucial guys back in the lineup. But I mean, for a while there, our defense was pretty shaky. Defense hitting wasn't there, and it just seemed like, man, that looked like like you said, a playoff atmosphere. Like people were making plays. Really, the biggest blunder out there was the base running from the Yankees yesterday that I can remember off the top of my head. Other than that, it was a pretty solid game all the way around.
Yeah, and I don't know when they had an off day. I think Monday prior to this game. So sometimes those off days come at perfect times to reset and kind of refocus. And I think you saw that a little bit. Not only to mention like you get the off day and then you're coming into Yankee Stadium and playing the Yankees and playing us. And I think it might provide a little bit more of an edge, and now you're rejuvenated. Now you walk in the Yankee Stadium, you're a little bit re-energized. So that could play a part too, where now you're just in a pretty hostile environment in Yankee Stadium, and you could either really narrow it down and focus, or it could go the other way. And so I think regardless of the way the past few weeks have gone for them, there's still a very good team with a very good lineup that any day can turn it on and be dangerous. And I think you've seen that more times than not from the Orioles throughout the year.
Yeah, I agree. It was just, and it's been more than a couple of weeks, Tim, but I think we've all talked about it. Like it's there. It's just like this. It's just been extended here for a little while, but then, and we all know it's there. And last year was such almost like a fairy tale of a season because everything went right. It didn't seem like we were battling any adversity until the playoffs when we got swept. But yeah, so it was just nice to see. I think Birdland for their mental health probably needed to see that as well. But
I mean, you're talking about a young team who, I mean, in the big leagues, how much has that core unit struggled, let alone all at one time? I mean, it's been a couple years really since these young guys have struggled at this level, and sometimes it's like you struggle, you adjust, and then you go on a run again. But I can tell you from an opposing side, we didn't treat them as if any of their guys were struggling. It was more of like a pedal to the metal, like, hey, these guys, we're getting the best version of these guys, and I think that's the best way to look at it. Is not that these guys are struggling, but to treat them as if they're hitting well, and even when they're not hitting well, there's guys in that lineup who are still dangerous. So you got to treat it as such.
And even like, what was I going to say? Like even, and we talked about this. I think even with the adversity and how much it sucked to watch, I think it's in the long run it's going to be good, especially for like a playoff run. Having had to battle through how rough these last couple months are, and it didn't look. Brian, I know you didn't get to watch much of it, but the locker room last night afterwards, and the speech that Brandon Hyde gave, there was a lot of stuff around Birdland. People talking about how he's lost the locker room starting to separate and become divisive, and whatever else they want to say about it. And I just kept pounding the drum, like, you're not in the fucking locker room. You don't know what's going on in there. Like, don't sit here and say, like, Hyde's losing the locker room, because you don't know. Like, you have no idea unless you're in that locker room. So it was frustrating, but last night was great to see. But yeah.
Spraying champagne? Are they spraying champagne already? Or?
Yep.
Oh
yeah.
They were spraying champagne.
Do you already have those like ski goggles ready to go for when you guys clinch?
So we had a little celebration in Seattle when we clinched the postseason spot. I think it was Philly. Philly kind of clinched postseason spot and waited, knowing that the division was close. Ours was, it was obviously the leaders on the team have that ability to say yes or no, and I think they just wanted to celebrate any accomplishment, and obviously, it's not little. Making the postseason is a big deal, but then you got to kind of refocus, because the next step is the division. So got 5 games left. I believe the magic number's 1, so we got to win 1 game of the next 5 to clinch the division, and then refocus again, because if you're going to get a bye, you definitely want home field throughout. So I think Cleveland now is maybe a game or a game and a half behind us. So I think it'd be nice to clinch the division and keep playing well, and then get home field throughout.
Yeah, of course, without a doubt. I didn't get a chance to watch the game because I became completely enthralled in the Greg Maddux documentary, One of a Kind.
Where was that at? Was that on MLB Network? How can I watch that?
MLB Network did it. It's produced by MLB Network, but I actually found it on YouTube, the whole thing. It's incredible. It is. I couldn't take my eyes off it. I couldn't even pick up the remote to change channel to watch the Oriole game. Tim, have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen it. I got the family with me, so it's a lot of like Bluey cars. They were watching Paw Patrol this morning.
Shows.
Yeah.
They tell a story about Luis Gonzalez. Apparently, Luis Gonzalez for the Diamondbacks could actually hit Greg Maddux pretty darn well. So Bobby Cox sends Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach, out to talk to him, and he's like, "We're going to walk him." He goes, "No, give me 2 pitches." Just give me 2 pitches. He goes, "I think I can get him to pop up to third base." And no shit, the second pitch he throws, he pops it up to Chipper Jones at third base. Chipper Jones says he gets underneath the ball and is just laughing the entire freaking time. And Bobby Cox is in the dugout just so pissed off because he didn't do what he asked him to do. Oh.
Dude, I can't wait to watch that doc. I saw that actually, like in one of the little clips, the preview clips for the show, and yeah, Chipper Jones was like, because I'm standing under it, I'm like, this motherfucker actually just called his shot.
And he had a great he has a great statement. He says you try to make strikes look like balls and balls look like strikes, because he knew he didn't have the velocity that he used to when he was an up and comer. And he said he had to really work. And then Tom Verducci, he goes, I've never seen a Picasso, but I saw Greg Maddux pitch. But that was a great quote. I'm a big quote guy, so that was a really cool quote.
That's a great
that relates really well to what we were talking to Tim just about, like how he wants to start that fastball in on righties as a ball and turn it into a strike and opposite arm side. So that actually works well in our conversation. Good job, Rogers.
Definitely watch it. It's a good watch. It's like an hour and 30 minutes, maybe hour and 25 minutes. So definitely check it out. It's awesome.
I'll definitely be watching.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that Tim and I have talked about this when we were in college too, and we actually read an article about it while we were in college on Greg Maddux talking about this, and it's called like cutting the corners. So. And I said it on this podcast before, but like when I was throwing, I was throwing 2 seams arm side and 4 seams on the opposite side, or glove side of the plate, because my 4 seam would cut. So I was literally trying to cut, like if this is the outside corner, have it be a strike and cut out, and on this side have it be a strike and cut this way. And Tim's kind of doing the same thing, but obviously he's throwing 2 seams, so he's trying to do a different version of that on both sides of the plate. So,
Brooks, I believe he throws a sinker.
If we want to have this argument, we can. Tim, how do you throw your sinker? Do you throw it like a 2-seam?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Our friend Antonio is watching. So hi, Antonio. What's going on, my man? Antonio's a lucky son of a gun. He's him and his father have been to all 30 ballparks. So good to see you, Antonio.
Awesome.
That's something I want to get to. I bet Tim, have you made it to all 32 yet? As playing in big leagues?
No,
that's pretty impressive.
The only park I haven't pitched in is Arizona.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, really?
I've pitched in every other ballpark.
What's your favorite ballpark that you went to?
Oh, that's a good question.
I really enjoy Fenway.
Okay.
Okay.
Like Fenway and Wrigley. Fenway
just because of the history of it, or
yeah, and kind of like the atmosphere. Like those fans are into it, and they're on you, and so it's a fun atmosphere to play in. Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field is fun. It's a different vibe, but it's fun. He tried calling me like yesterday, and I haven't called him back. So now
he's pissed. he just texted me on the side. He goes, "How can I comment on this?"
But no, Wrigley and Fenway are. I know they're 2 old ballparks, but they're very fun to play in because of the fans and the atmosphere that happens there.
Which city had the best food?
I'm like
You're getting called out here, Tim.
Yeah.
Getting crushed.
Yeah.
I gotta put Tim on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get out like a whole lot for like dinners and stuff just because of the schedules. I'm a big breakfast guy, and actually like Baltimore is like my favorite place to go because of the breakfast around the hotel, like with Blue Moon Cafe and Miss Shirley's. So, those spots make it fun.
Well, it was also nice there for a little while because I was so close to home that the family and all the friends could come as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a little trivia for you guys. Ready?
Hello.
All right. Shohei Ohtani
right.
has 95 extra base hits this year. That is second all time to only one person who had 96 extra base hits in a season. This person did it in 2013. Can you name it? And we can let it marinate too, by the way.
2013.
Do we get any kind of hint other than 2013? I guess.
American League.
I mean, we're gonna say Trout, but I feel like that's too
Okay.
obvious. Trout's got to be too obvious, right?
Yeah, it is not Mike Trout.
Okay. All right, let's let that one there.
Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown around 12 or 13.
Nope.
Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown around then, and so did Justin Verlander won the MVP around then. Anyway.
Hmm.
Justin Verlander did not have 96 extra base hits, I promise.
Pedroia?
Nope. AL East.
No way.
Damn.
You're gonna want to punch your computer monitor.
It's not Poppy.
No.
It is Mr. Chris Davis of the Baltimore
Really?
Orioles.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
There's no way that's
true. Then he forgot how to hit a baseball. I don't understand.
Hey, shit happens. He did that same thing in Texas before he came to Baltimore and had turned his career around, and then seemed like it kind of leaked back to where it was. But
Yeah.
what's speaking of the ballparks? I know you talked about the old ballparks. What's your favorite newer ballpark without taking the atmosphere and stuff like that out of it? And I know you don't get to walk around the stadium that much, obviously, but what would you say is your favorite newer ballpark and ballpark design?
Yeah.
I've been enamored by Atlanta. I really want to go see Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta's cool. I haven't been there in a while. Texas is really cool.
Really?
New Texas.
Disappointed in the way that, but I haven't been there either. So
yeah, it's massive. It's just massive. Trying to think Minnesota and Seattle.
I like those.
They're kind of you walk in and you feel like a younger vibe.
Yeah.
In those
Feels
stadiums.
new, almost.
Yeah. Yeah. Minnesota's cool. It's just I think a lot of guys are wondering why they didn't put a dome on it. Why not put a roof on it? But it is a cool stadium, and it's a fun stadium. But it gets so cold there that you're like, this place can't even have a retractable roof. But I guess what happened was the space that the stadium sits, for them to add a retractable roof, they didn't have the space to do it because of the lot that the stadium sits on. I believe is kind of what the issue was there.
Too small.
Or they didn't want to pay for it.
Or they didn't want to pay for it.
Folks, we went there. We went there when it was first built, and I remember we went there when it was first built. And I remember not thinking too much of it, but I remember thinking it was nice, it was new, but it didn't really have a Oriole Park has the warehouse, something that draws you, something that really stands out and tells you you're in this city or you're at this place. It didn't really give me that.
I enjoyed San Diego,
but anyway,
I really like San Diego too.
San Diego's great.
Yeah. You know what place has a great playing surface is Oakland. The playing surface in Oakland is phenomenal. Yeah,
because that's never been that was always down when football was there. That was always the thing people complained about.
Yeah, no. Now that football's not there, that playing surface is phenomenal.
Tim, I know you don't have Instagram anymore, so you might not have seen this, but yesterday after the A's walked it off, fans in the stands were breaking off the seats and taking the seats home with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How about the White Sox winning yesterday and the fans booed?
They wanted to see history. Man.
They had lost something 100+ games in a row when they were trailing after the 7th inning, and they finally won yesterday. It was the first one all season where they were trailing at the 7th inning and they won.
Good for them, man. Could you imagine playing for that team right now?
Oh,
yeah.
Ryan talks about it because he's good friends with Gavin Sheets.
Yeah.
And he is probably one of the best, if not the best player on that team, and he's just got to be get me out of here, man. So
yeah. The vibes can't be
Tim,
very good.
Tim, how
But
many?
you get to play with Grady Sizemore.
Yeah, he seems like a cool dude to play for. I'm wondering if they'll actually keep him after this season because, I mean, a lot of those people in the clubhouse probably aren't going to be around next year. But it seems like everybody loves him that talks about him. Even when the Orioles played there, like the announcers were talking about how much they love him too. So, but
Yeah.
Tim, how many days will you be shut down here for now? Probably 3, because that's probably more pitches than you've thrown in an outing in a while.
No, I'll probably get today.
You think so?
Yeah, probably today. I get
What do you throw? 30, low 30s?
30. I threw 40 maybe 10 days ago. And then had a day off, an off day, and then threw. So I technically 2 days off for that, but I don't know. I'll probably have 1 day off, and then I'll be active again. Especially with like these guys and the amount of lefties, I can see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your other lefty down there?
Tim Hill.
Okay.
Tim
yeah,
Hill, he throws weird.
Yeah, he's quirky. He's quirky. But he's been great. Like he has I think he has like a sub 2 or sub 1 with the Yankees. Like he has been just doing really well for us, and it's been because he came from, you want to talk about the White Sox, like the White Sox DFA'd him. So, talking to him, he's like the White Sox, who worst team in baseball, DFA'd me. Like they didn't want me, and then the Yankees claimed me, and now he has a sub 2 or sub 1 with the Yankees, and it's like, the game is just, this game is nuts, and
it is so weird.
I actually forgot that it's you two down there, so you guys are going to be going back and forth against the Orioles.
And he's had a couple days off now, so he might pitch the next 2 days just because of the lefties, and then hopefully we've clinched and have done something by then, and then maybe the Pirates series I'll get a lot of work. But I don't know. It's you're always pitching for something, so it's not like I want just 1 day off, or even if they came to me today and said, "Hey, do you want to pitch today?" I'd be like, "Yeah," like. I'm like, get me in there as much as possible. It's so.
Will they work around? Will they work around pitching schedules assume you clinch and then you end up having a bye? Will they work around? Say Garrett Cole is in line to start the last game of the season. Maybe he doesn't. Instead, he gets that day off, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, I wish I had more experience in knowing how those happen, but we all the times that I've clinched, it's always been on the last day of the season or the day before the last day of the season. So then you're playing up until that point, and then the last day of the season has been somewhat of a bullpen game, or we actually played a doubleheader in Baltimore on the last day of the season in 2022. So MLB made us play even though the doubleheader meant nothing, we were already locked into who we were playing. We were going to be home. That was the lockout year, and they were gung-ho on playing 162 games. So they're like, yeah, you're playing a doubleheader on the last day of the season because we want everybody to play 162 games in a lockout year. So we did like a starter game 1 and a bullpen day game 2, just like because you have like a lot and it was the wild card. So we had a day off, and then we played the wild card, but they wanted bullpen guys to at least touch the mound for an inning. That way they weren't sitting for so long.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because I don't know where they sit.
Probably
I
whenever
mean, I wish I had an answer. But I could see Garrett pitching 3-4 innings on Sunday, because he also is going to have 5 days off. So I don't know. If he doesn't pitch Sunday, then there's a potential that it's 10, 11 days without seeing a hitter. And I don't know if he's going to want to do that. So
it's probably more like
a shorter start.
He's going on a strict pitch count, I would assume, and just being like, all right, here's your pitch count. Go out and get your work in. And almost
Yeah.
treat it like live.
Throw 60 or 70 or something like that, and then call it a day.
But he's also. I mean, we're talking about a vet here who has been there, kind of done that, and so he may have a big say in what goes on and how he wants to prepare for game one.
I would hope so.
But yeah, we'll see how how they attack it, because hopefully by that time not only is the division clinched, but home field advantage is clinched as well. So I think that number is 4 for home field. But yeah, so we'll see.
I gotta bring this in here for you.
Oh no.
He's a breakfast guy. Although, if I do remember correctly, you're more of like a breakfast croissant, or
I do love donuts. He's not wrong about that.
Big donut guy.
I do love donuts, or like pastries in general, I guess. So donuts, muffins, croissants,
like sugar in the morning.
Yeah. I got a vanilla sweet cream cold brew right here. This is my sugar.
Yeah. Dude, so I was going to ask you, since the first time we talked to you, I think it was like you had been with the Yanks for like maybe a couple days, or you were probably.
I was in Scranton.
Still in Scranton, yeah. So
yeah.
Who have you been connecting with there since the Yankees have been there? Give us some scoops about the. Not anything crazy, but about the Yanks clubhouse. Who have you become close with? Who do you like in there?
Yeah. So obviously, like the bullpen, I feel like everywhere it's like the bullpen hangs out with the bullpen. Like you're just like one unit. So I've been hanging out with them a lot. My catch partner's Mark Leiter. Him and I have talked.
That's so cool.
And then like Luke Weaver sits. I'm in the locker room. I'm next to Weaver and Clay Holmes. So two like back end guys, and obviously Clay's had a lot of success. So just talking to them about things and experimenting and just seeing what I can add and what I can do to get better. Obviously the sole focus a lot was velo based early on, and now that I feel like I've gotten my velo back, it's like, okay, so what can I add? Is there something I need to add? The game, and I think hitters are constantly adjusting, and for a while I've been kind of like this one trick guy where it's a lot of sinkers, 80%, 78% sinkers, and the sliders like been okay. It's been better as of late. I think I'm onto something with the slider, but it's like I've started to add a little bit of a cutter to get up and in on righties, just because the glove side sinker hasn't been getting glove side. So I needed something to have them respect that I can drive a ball in. So I've been using the cutter a little more. And so it's like, Weaver obviously has a really good changeup. So I'm like, hey, what are your thoughts when you throw the changeup and it's a swing and miss pitch? And, it's like the first goal is to get to 2 strikes as quick as possible. But then it's like, okay, if I get to 2 strikes with the sinker, like where do I go now? And what's a swing and miss pitch, or how can I set up kind of the take sinker? When you're talking sinkers and cutters, you're talking pretty big contact pitches and weak contact pitches. So it's like, oh, is there something to be added that can add more swing and miss to my game, especially being out of the bullpen? It's a pretty big piece, I feel like, of what gets looked at is kind of like, okay, are you getting outs? But okay, where's the strikeout? If we need a strikeout, can you get it? Type of deal. So Weaver the last month has really been lights out and getting a lot of swing and miss with his changeup, and his 4-seam at the top, I think, sets that up. So I talked to him and Clay and throw with Leiter, and Cousins and I have grown close. Jake Cousins and I. So we've been talking, but more me, Cousins, and Canely. We talk more fantasy football than we do pitching at times, and Canely's a big Eagles fan, so we connect there. And but yeah, funny story was like Judge is the captain, and he obviously is respected by everyone in that clubhouse, and really made me feel welcomed. And when he first sat down next to me, guys were like, "Oh, should we take a picture? Like, this is history right here. Like, the guy who hit 61 and the guy who gave up 61."
So,
I'm like,
so
yeah,
they called you out on it right away.
yeah.
All right.
And then,
All right. Since you brought it up, do you care if I share the picture you sent me?
no, you can.
Tim, I don't know if you were aware of this, but you got your you threw your 300th inning last night in Major League Baseball.
Great.
How cool is that?
Great. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I was just looking at Tommy Kahnle's stats. Obviously, he's been around forever, and he's only at like 370. So,
damn, that's Tim. You're coming up, man.
Yeah.
Before we let Tim go, we're not Hall of Famer. I got 10 baseball names.
Okay.
For what?
yeah. You want to throw those up now?
Hold on.
We can do it now.
I'm pulling up.
Brooks, so you
I'm
got-
pulling up. Since we were talking about Judge and we were talking about the history that he was saying, I want to. Tim sent us this picture that Judge kindly gifted him. If I can figure out how to work this fucking thing.
All right, well, while you pull that up, Brooks, I'll start with Hall of Fame or not Hall of Fame. And Tim, the way this works is I'm going to say a name, and you just say yes or no. We're not going to go into statistics. We can talk about it after I go through. There's 10 names on this list. You just say yes or no.
Got to be instant. Got to be instant. Yes or no.
All right, I'm going to start off
Done.
with Tommy
Let's go.
John.
No.
Fast.
No.
Okay. Don Mattingly.
Yes.
Yes.
Are we all doing it?
Yeah, everybody.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I thought it was.
One.
I thought it was. Sorry.
All right. Jimmy Rollins.
No.
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 Okay. Kenny Lofton.
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Dale Murphy.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Nelson Cruz.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't like that.
No.
Kind of wish I could change my answer on that one.
I mean, the Rollins one hurts me because I want to say yes.
I know.
Growing up a
That's
Philly
your boy.
fan, but yeah.
All right. Billy Wagner.
Yes.
Yes.
How he's
We
not in, I
already-
have no fucking
I
idea.
know. We already argued about this one. Hall of
The
Fame.
best
stuff.
left-handed reliever ever. He's the best
All right.
left-handed reliever ever.
Fernando Venezuela.
Yes.
Valenzuela. Yes.
Valenzuela, sorry.
Yes.
Venezuela.
Venezuela is a country.
Sorry. Sorry. Joey Votto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, and then always the one controversial one, Pete Rose.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's your game of Hall of Fame or not Hall of Famer. I disagree with you guys on Tommy John for one reason and for two reasons.
Tell us the story of baseball.
Contributions of the game, and then two, he has 288 wins and a 3.34 ERA.
Yeah, it might be hard for you guys to see here, but if you have it on the full screen, you can see it pretty well. You don't have to zoom in too much. It says on the jersey, "Thanks for the 8 straight fastballs." What's the story behind that, Tim?
Yeah,
you
so-
wanna enlighten us.
Yeah. So in 22, when I gave up 61, I sent a jersey over and I wanted him to sign it. I put a note in. I said, "Hey, can Judge sign this like to Everett?" And I wanted him to write to my son and say, "Thank your dad for the 8 straight fastballs." And so they found that jersey and Judge is like the best. He's an awesome human and just a super humble guy. And he actually, after he signed this jersey, he's like, "I felt bad for putting thanks for the 8 straight fastballs." He goes, "If you want another one with with nothing on it. Like, I'll do it. He goes, it just didn't feel right. And I was like, Judge, like, we shared a unique moment in history. I'm like, if you just sign it like any other jersey, like, then I feel like, it's just there's no meaning behind it. And I said, it's an honest thing. I threw 8 straight heaters and thought I could get away with it, and I didn't, and gave up 61. But
hey, I respect you for challenging him.
But
Fuck yeah, dude.
I did that, and then he ended up signing a jersey for my son as well. So so he signed 2 jerseys for me, that one, and then he signed one for my son, which is really cool. And he's awesome about it. And I mean, the guy he signs autographs for days. I mean, he'll sign for just about anyone, it seems. And so just a great guy. And yeah, that'll be a cool little man cave edition.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
He got the ball. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome to hear, because I mean, we did hear a little birdie tell us about somebody else who doesn't love to sign autographs, but
yeah.
But yeah. So Tim, before you go, I know you got some stuff to do today that's probably more important than we need to do. Thoughts on the Eagles this year? Because we're about to pick some games for the weekend.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm confident already.
I am. Saquon Barkley is just like, he's unreal. I mean, if you're the Giants and you're seeing what he's doing, like, you got to be kicking yourself for letting a guy like that go. And
that GM's gonna get fired.
Yeah, I'm also just sitting there. I'm like, man, if the Eagles would just kick a field goal, like, these games would be less stressful. You thought the Falcons game, like, if they kicked the field goals that they could have instead of go for it, they end up winning that game. And even last week they won, but I think if they kick a field goal, like, it doesn't really come down to that stressfulness. And I'm confident in them. I mean, they're super talented, and they're, they won last week without, the past 2 weeks they've been without AJ Brown and have held their own. So hopefully he gets back and they get back rolling. But they've looked solid. They've looked solid. I think the Saints are a tough team, and the Falcons are tough. I know week 1 they didn't look great, but the past 2 weeks they've looked good, and I'm confident in them. I haven't, like, watched a whole lot. Like, I'll pop in and out just because usually Sundays we have day games as well. So I follow the scores, but I'm an Eagles fan through and through, and it's Super Bowl or bust for me.
Yeah, if Sirianni doesn't do anything this year, he's doing like Staley stuff where, like, 2 years ago when nobody was kicking field goals and Brandon Staley for the Chargers was going for it every time, man. And it's like, hey man, you wouldn't be in the situation at the end of the game if you just kicked a couple field goals.
Yeah, that roster's just like, that roster's loaded. It's loaded. So I think offensively they'll be fine. I think they'll figure out a way to balance out kind of the offense with running and passing. And the first few weeks I feel like this is always like a feeling out process and trying out new things, just because nobody plays in the preseason anymore. So you're trying stuff with your first team offense that you haven't been able to try in the preseason, and then eventually a few weeks in you'll start to settle into a game plan that works with that unit.
Yeah, whenever you guys get the Cowboys, run the fucking ball every down.
Yeah.
Like, watch the first half with the Ravens game last week. They can't do dog shit against it. And I know we got Derrick Henry, but our O-line the first 2 games has been dog shit. So the fact that I was
going to say the Eagles' offensive line is much better than the Ravens' offensive line.
Yeah. And Derrick Henry's good, but is he as explosive as Saquon these days?
Exactly. He's more of a bowling ball, but he looks good so far, so I'll take it.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's no slouch. Obviously, I think Saquon's probably the only guy you can say is running the ball better than him right now. So.
Yeah. All right, buddy. We'll let you go.
All right,
I mean, you probably got some shit to get to. So.
I got some family. So.
All right.
See you, man.
All right. Yeah. See you. Thanks. All right. We'll do.
Tim, thank you, man.
See you guys.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, no problem.
The rest of the season, man.
All right, boys.
Yeah, that was Tim Mayza. Thank you again to Tim. Thank you again to Tim for coming on. Awesome. He's so giving with his time, and he's the fucking man. So round of applause to Tim. And we really thank him for coming on, although we hope his team loses all of their last 5 games.
Yeah, he keeps saying, hopefully we've clinched by then. I kept going, yeah, hopefully you haven't, but
before we get into the NFL stuff, I have a note that I forgot to mention from the podcast the other day. The Terps are 3-1 in football, but the guy I want to talk about is receiver Ty Felton. I haven't watched a ton of Terps football other than the Michigan State disaster that we watched on the bachelor party, but through 4 games, this dude Ty Felton's got 41 catches for 600 yards. So that's 10 catches a game for 150 yards a game. His current pace is 108 catches for 1,788 yards and 16 touchdowns, all of which would obliterate Maryland's single-season receiving records. That's via 24/7 Sports, Jeff Furman.
Yeah.
Really want to shout that out because that's a local team doing a local guy doing really awesome stuff. And I mean, if you're a draft analyst, this guy was not on your radar. He's got to be now.
Yeah, I think Ryan Ripken actually trademarked this, but they're calling it the Theismann run. Ty Felton. But I mean those are crazy numbers. Like, we haven't seen anything like that in Maryland.
He's putting up All-American stuff right now.
Yeah. I know. We haven't seen anything like that in Maryland since who was the last receiver to do it? Probably Diggs. Maybe
Diggs or DJ Moore didn't even put these kind of numbers up.
DJ Moore, like Vernon Davis and Torrey Smith, but I mean, he's going to destroy all those records. Hayward Bay, yeah. But I mean, he's on pace. It seems like to possibly easily beat all those records, but we'll see if that continues. So I don't want to get ahead of myself.
But anyway, I did want to shout him out just before we get into the NFL picks, just because that was something we forgot to talk about on the podcast the other day, and that's local, and that's that guy's killing it. So give him a shout out. So we're going to continue now. We're going to do our week 4 picks. We're going to pick every game against the spread and tally them up, and at the end of the season, we're going to give some sort of a punishment to whoever comes in last place. We still haven't decided on that, so if you have any ideas, please let us know. But we're going to put the odds up on the screen here. They should be the same odds that we have in our little notes here, Bri. I'm not sure what you're looking at or whatever, but I'll keep track of everyone's picks as we go, and we will start with Thursday night. Tomorrow night, the Cowboys are playing at the Giants, and the Giants are +5.5 at home. The over-under is 45. We're just going to be picking against the spread. We're not going to be picking the over-unders unless somebody really likes an over-under. We might throw that into like a team parlay or something like that. But Cowboys at Giants. Cowboys -5.5. What do you guys got?
Brian, go ahead.
Give me the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I'm going to Cowboys as well. I think this is a get-back game for them against a struggling Giants team. And I don't know if you said this or not, Dustin. I kind of was halfway paying attention to you. We were 0-2 on Thursday. Like all of us.
Yeah, we're both
like
0-2. All three of us. Yeah, all three of us team picked. And we picked Cincinnati and Jacksonville. Jacksonville didn't show up, and Cincinnati can't play defense. Nobody punted in that Cincinnati versus Washington game, by the way. No turnovers on downs and no punts the whole game. Pretty crazy.
Daniels looked
but yeah, I think the way to beat the Cowboys is to run the ball efficiently on them and hold their offense in check as much as you can. I don't think the Giants' defense is very good, and I don't think the Giants can run the ball. So I think the Cowboys are going to win this game pretty handily. I know it's a Thursday night, so weird stuff happens, but we're just going to make this another team play, and we're probably going to start 0-3. Next game up, we have the Denver Broncos at the New York Jets. The line is 7.5. The Jets are favored by 7.5 at home for the Broncos. The over-under is 38.5. They're expecting this to be a lower scoring game, which makes sense given the teams. What do we have? Bri, you go first.
I will take the Broncos and the points.
Broncos and the points. All right. I like that. Brooks?
Give me the Jets.
Brooks wants the Jets. I'm also going to take the Broncos and the points. The Broncos have looked like a different team than they looked like in week 1 the last 2 weeks, and their defense has been very good. I don't think they'll win this game, but I think they'll keep it close. So give me the Broncos and the points. And I'm abandoning one of my biggest rules is don't take the underdog unless you think they can legitimately win the game. I mean, I guess they could, but I don't see it. But I'm still going to do it because I'm an idiot. Vikings Packers is our next game on the card. Vikings at Packers. The Packers are at home. They are -2.5 favorites. And I think this line reflects to me that they think Jordan Love's going to play because I don't think if Malik Willis is playing that the Packers are favored over the 3-0 Vikings.
I think he is. I think he is going to play.
We're assuming Jordan Love is playing. Yeah. You think he's going to play? I think Darnold also had a weird knee bruise. I think he's almost certainly playing, but I think he's going to be playing a little bit hobbled. I don't know. I've liked what I've seen out of both of these teams. This is kind of one of my marquee games on Sunday that I really want to watch, but I have to work all day because it's a music festival, so I can't. But I'm interested to see what happens. Give me the Vikings. I think a lot of people are going to be on the Pack. Give me the Vikings. I'm going to go first here.
Okay.
Packers
for Bry.
I'm going Vikings as well. And like I said, I think Jordan Love is going to play from everything that I've watched and read on Twitter. It sounds like he probably could have played last week, but they were just going to wait until their division game this week to have him play. So I do think he's going to play, but I'm wary to pick against the Vikings right now for how good they've looked. So give me the Vikings.
Yeah. All right. Next game, Steelers at Colts. The Colts are getting 1.5 at home. This game is super weird. I don't want to watch a minute of it. I think it's going to be ugly as shit. I think Anthony Richardson is going to make some of the stupidest decisions anybody's ever seen. I think the Steelers defense is legit. I really do think the Steelers defense is legit. I love Anthony Richardson. I think he's electric, but I think he really needs to grow as a football player quite a bit before he starts beating teams like this with, I think, the best defense in the NFL right now. I'm going to take the Steelers.
Yeah, Pittsburgh takes over a stadium too, wherever they go, and Indy seems like that their stadium gets taken over pretty easily. So I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh as well. I think, yeah, I think their defense is too good.
Give me the Horsies.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian is being a contrarian today.
I don't love it. Yeah. I kind of agree. I'm I'm waffling on this pick a little bit, but give me a Steelers.
Next up, we have the Eagles at the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have beaten the Eagles in the playoffs in 2 consecutive playoff matchups. So a little bit of maybe a revenge game for the Eagles, or maybe the Bucs are kind of going into this thinking they're owning the Eagles. Either way, the line is 2.5. The Bucs are getting 2.5 at home, which seems questionable to me. I'm taking the Bucs. I don't know. I think this game should be closer to a pick'em than +2.5.
I'm going to go in the Eagles wagon here.
Yeah, I'm going to ride them as well. I'm going to ride the Eagles as well. We had Tim on today. I'll ride with them. Ride the vibes.
Fair enough. Giving the shout out to the guest. I like it. I'm not going to be sucked in so easily, though. Here comes the fishiest line of the week. This is the fishiest line of the week. We need a segment for that. But the Carolina Panthers are getting 4.5 at home. The Andy Dalton-led Carolina Panthers. Is this the Andy Dalton Bengals revenge game? Who knows? I think the Panthers are terrible. I don't know if they'll win another game this year. I think losing Thielen is really going to hurt Andy Dalton. I I don't know.
What was
I don't think
Thielen's
there's any
injury?
way the Bengals lose this game. Huh? It's
was
a hamstring and he's on IR.
Ah, shit.
It's
I will take
quote
the
unquote significant hamstring injury.
So he's done. Probably.
I will take the Bengals in this game. They are going to be desperate, and the Panthers are going to come down from their first victory. The emotional letdown.
Dustin, did you pick?
Yeah, we both picked the Bengals.
All right, your connection sucks, dude. Bengals
Yeah, I'm sorry.
as well. Bengals as well. You're on like a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, I know. I've been fighting the internet since we were on with Tim earlier. It's fun. Sorry about that.
I'm fighting a cold. I'm getting sick. I can't stop coughing and sniffling.
Well, that sucks. Sorry about that, buddy. Okay. Next game, Rams Bears. Just a little note on the Bears. Guess what the Bears running backs are averaging per carry this season so far?
Ooh.
1.8 yards.
Yeah, it's got to be low. I don't know. I don't even have a guess.
They have 56 carries for less than 130 yards. They're averaging 2.3 yards per carry by their running backs this season. I don't think the Rams are very good, but I think the Bears are in shambles. And also the Bears' offensive line, I mean, like we just said with the running, I don't know. I don't see it so far with the Bears. I don't think they're well coached. I think Stafford has been one of the best 5 quarterbacks in the league thus far this season, despite their 1-2 record, because I think they're the most injured team in the league, and he's just carrying them. I have no idea how they won that game against the Niners. I'm taking the Rams all the way. The Bears are favored by 3 at home. I don't think they should be favored in this game. Stafford and McVay over Eberflus. Yeah, Stafford and McVay over Eberflus and Williams all day. Give me the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I can't not take the Rams, but this is another one of those fishy lines too.
Yeah, couple lines you don't like to see.
We also said that about one of the lines on Thursday. So,
no.
I feel like every line.
Yeah, it seems that way now. I mean, it's almost like unanimously there's 0.5 on there these days because they just want. Yeah.
Except for the one we just did, right? And that's good.
I mean, obviously. Yeah, exactly. Next game is Saints at Falcons. The Falcons are favored by 1.5. The over/under is 42. Brooks, let you go first here.
Give me the Falcons. I just think the Saints got to come back down to earth here at some point, and I like how the Falcons have been playing as well.
Sorry, I lost connection. Who'd you pick?
Falcons.
Falcons. Okay.
Yeah.
Falcons.
Brian's on the Falcons. I'll take the Saints. I'm kind of fading the Falcons at this point in the season. I don't think that their offensive skill players are as good as everybody thinks they are. And I think the Saints are decent. I don't know. I think when the line's 1.5, it just tells you that Vegas doesn't really know what the fuck to do. So these games I tend to stay away from on the betting side. But if I have to pick gun to head, I'm taking the Saints. So I'll go against you guys there. We got Jaguars at Texans. The Jaguars just came off getting absolutely demolished by the Buffalo Bills on Monday night. They are getting 6.5 in Houston. The over/under is 45. Brian, you go first. What do you think?
Houston Texans, please, sir.
Houston Texans it is. Both of these teams just got smoked, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll go against the grain here. I'll go Jacksonville.
Wow. Brooks is jagging off. I'm going to take Houston. I have bet on the Jacksonville Jaguars 2 out of the 3 weeks this season, and I will never do it again. So I'm out on them as a franchise. I'm out on Trevor Lawrence, and I'm out on Doug Peterson. It's no good in Jacksonville. I'm taking Houston.
He could get fired here in the next couple of weeks if they don't turn this shit around.
I really believe you're right about that.
Yeah,
it's
they got
not looking good.
They got a quick trigger down there too, usually. So
yeah. Patriots. Oh, sorry. Patriots at Niners. Going across the country. Niners are -10 after missing Debo, Kittle, lost Javon Hargrave for the season. I think they were losing their safety Talanoa Hufanga. Nick Bosa was questionable for this game. McCaffrey's still out. I mean, they got all kinds of problems, but they got this dude Jennings who is sick. I don't know if the Patriots are much of a football team, but I think 10 is too much for this injured Niners team. So I'm going to take the Pats plus the points.
Yeah, me on that one as well.
Yeah, I can't. That's a lot of points. I can't. I got to agree with you guys.
Look at that. I can't believe that we're all taking the Pats. I love that. That's a team play. Next
team
pick,
ride.
coming off of his breakout performance, Jaden Daniels is getting 3.5 at the Cardinals. The Cardinals have been pretty frisky this year. Their offense looks pretty good. I think their defense is good enough to keep them in games, but I don't know. Higher prior offenses, I think they're going to have trouble with. I do think, like I said before the season, that's going to be a red zone team. Brian, let's let you go first. What do you have on this game?
Sure. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I like what I saw out of them, and I don't trust Kyler Murray. I just don't.
Okay. Brooks?
I'm going to go with the Cards.
Okay. Cards -3.5. I really, really wish this line was 3 because then I think I would be way more in on the Cardinals than I am. I'm still going to take the Cardinals. I think it's going to be a little bit of coming off a game where you went 21 of 23 as a rookie, I don't think you can expect that type of performance twice in a row out of Jaden Daniels. And if he does, then that means he really is special. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a great player, but I think to expect that from him 2 weeks in a row is crazy. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals very slightly.
His confidence has got to be sky high right now, though.
Yeah. Really fun to watch. I mean, look like baby Lamar.
He looked great.
Browns at Raiders. The Raiders are -1. Nobody's going to turn this game on any of their TVs, right? I don't.
Chiefs Chargers, buddy.
Oh, sorry. Chiefs Chargers. We'll go Chiefs Chargers first. We're going in order here. My bad. Chargers are getting 8 at home. Feels like too much unless Herbert's not playing. Do we have info on that? Is Herbert supposed to play?
There's nothing yet. They're keeping it close to the vest, so they actually have to release the injury report.
Yeah, the line is kind of vague. I don't know. For an in-division matchup, if Herbert is playing, I'm taking the Chargers all the way here. I think 8 is way too many, but I feel like this line is telling me that they don't know if Herbert's going to play. I'm going to pick the Chargers regardless here because I'm not going to be able to change my pick. But I don't know. 8 points at home, although the Chargers don't exactly have a home field advantage. It just feels like a lot, and I trust Jim Harbaugh to keep this one close.
Give me the Chargers.
So he's got a right ankle sprain, grade 1.
It was a re-injury.
Yeah. Give me the Chargers, even without Herbert. I think they figure out a way to keep this close, or he just runs the ball down their throat the entire game, or tries to take time off the clock. So yeah, give me the Chargers to keep it within 8.
Look at some of these over-unders. They're just so low this year.
So many injuries this year.
This is the lowest, not the lowest one, the lowest one of Sunday, the Browns-Raiders game, which I tried to jump at a little early. Browns are getting 1 point at Vegas, and the over-under is 37. Brooks, then Brian, then me.
Give me Vegas, and I don't even have a reason. Maybe AP kicks. Maybe AP's press conference last week, calling people out, kick some people in the ass. I don't know. I have no idea who's going to win this game.
Give me the Browns. I like their skill position players better than I like Vegas's.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well just flip a coin here. I heard an interesting stat on one of the podcasts I was listening to this week. I wish I could give it credit, but I can't remember what it was. But in the last 3 years, only 39 quarterbacks have taken over 500 dropbacks. And there's a stat called offensive efficiency for the quarterback, or success rate for the quarterback. So Deshaun Watson is 36th out of 39 qualified quarterbacks in QB success rate. The only 3 guys that are behind him are Zach Wilson, Bryce Young, and sorry, there's one more guy, and I can't remember who it is. One more guy, Davis Mills. So not good players. I'm fading the Browns all the way. I also think Myles Garrett kind of left hobbled last week. So if he's not playing, I don't really think they have a chance to beat anybody right now. Man, that game's going to suck.
Yeah.
Last game of Sunday is Buffalo coming to the bank. The Ravens are favored by 2.5. This is as Vegas of a line as it gets. Usually when 2 good teams played each other, the team at home used to be -3, but now the home field advantage is worth 2.5. So this makes sense. This tracks. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think after Buffalo's dominant performance, after the Ravens being shaky? What do you have here?
Ravens are desperate. Bills coming off a major win. Even though I think Buffalo is a bit better of a team than the Ravens, I'm going to take the Ravens.
All right.
Yeah. Buffalo looks like one of the top couple teams in the league at the moment, even though we're still very early on. But with that being said, I think the Ravens are starting to trend in the right direction, we hope. They played better, even though that second half didn't look great. The first half looked amazing, so maybe we'll keep improving. So give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to take Buffalo. I think that their win on Monday night against Jacksonville was a statement. I think Josh Allen is rising to, other than Patrick Mahomes, being in that conversation as the best guy in the league. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills, and hopefully the Ravens can prove me wrong. But the Buffalo Bills can cover and lose the game. So I got that going for me.
I don't disagree with you.
We're going to go to Monday night for whatever reason. Once again, we have a Monday night doubleheader. Don't know why they're doing this. This is really weird. I guess they do it a couple weeks a year, but every time it happens, I always think it's weird. Titans at Dolphins.
3 weeks.
Yeah. Titans at Dolphins. The Dolphins are getting a point at home because I don't know who's going to play quarterback for them. I don't know if Mike McDaniel knows who's going to play quarterback for them. It could be Tyler Huntley. It could be Skylar Thompson. It could be Tim Boyle. It's definitely not going to be Tua. Yeah. The over-under on this game is 36.5. I mean, I do not want to touch this game with a 10-foot pole. I said on our podcast earlier this week, I think Will Levis is one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen, and I really believe that. I don't know. Give me the Dolphins.
Same. Dolphins.
Who did the Dolphins play last week? Do you remember?
No. They played Seattle. They lost 24-3.
Yeah. Yeah, give me Tennessee.
All right. Got one person for Tennessee. And the last game of the week is the Seahawks at the Lions. The Lions are -3.5 at home for the Seahawks. Game. This makes sense. I think this should be a pretty good game. I mean, what do we think here?
I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions. I'm when in doubt, I take the home team, so I'm going with the Lions.
Yeah. Laporta went down. I think other than that, I think one of their defenders went down as well.
They lost Frank Ragnow, partial tear in one of his triceps, I believe. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. He's their center. He's very good.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me Mike. Not Mike. Give me McDonald. Give me the Seahawks.
I like it. I was really high on both of these teams preseason, but I think the Lions at home, I think, will deal the Seahawks their first loss of the season. I think the Lions offense is too high powered. I know I like the restructuring of the defense by McDonald so far. I've said that multiple times, and I think Byron Murphy's been very good for them. But I think the Lions' firepower on offense is just too much. I think this is the week they'll break out.
I want to see if Kenneth Walker's back this week or not. I mean, even though Charbonnet or however you say his name,
he's questionable.
Okay. Charbonnet looked good too.
He's questionable. He may play, but he's not 100%. Yeah, the first game Charbonnet played, he looked bad, but last week he looked good. He had like 85 yards and a touchdown and caught some balls. So, that's our picks. We'll post these.
Says it'll be 50-50 split whenever Kenneth Walker returns, probably. So, but I don't see any update here. So.
That's the worst thing you can hear as a fantasy owner of a player is 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Ever. You never want that. But anyway, that's our picks for this week. That is our slate. If you guys want to follow or disagree or agree or fade any of our picks, we'll put a graphic up or we'll clip something and throw that up on Instagram, wherever you can find us, and you can see our picks, and we'll keep track of them for the majority of the season and or the duration of the season, and we'll keep track of who is doing the best out of us three at picking these games against the spread.
We'll have to make
be warned. Games like games like Browns, Raiders, and Titans, Dolphins, we're going to pick them because we have to, but I would not advise betting on these games unless you like losing money. Or you're just feeling really lucky because nobody knows what's happening in either of those games. And then, you guys have anything else before we go off air today?
Nope. That's all we got.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, today has been another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture. Thanks for Tim Mayza again. Brooks, you go ahead.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. The bullshit that we're told that we need to say on here. We'd really appreciate it. And really, thanks for following along.
Thanks for everybody that watched. Appreciate you very much.
Hopefully we'll have some more good guests coming on here soon before playoff time. I'm sure Tim will be back on as well to talk playoff baseball as well. So keep an eye out for stuff.
Okay. All right, boys. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.